Greninja is a Pokemon that hasn't been used in competitive VGC for a while, ever since Gen 6, especially with Ash Greninja not legal in VGC, and especially now because of the Libero and the Protean nerfs. However, this support set with Water Shuriken loaded dice has really caught my interest, and we're going to see if this support Greninja set might be the ticket for Greninja to actually be viable. This team features loaded dice support Greninja that can be utilized two ways on this team. You have two ways to set up with Greninja, featuring the Armorage Entity, the classic weak armor, weakness policy Armorage to set it up with a Shadow Sneak and dish out a lot of damage in the psychic terrain that prevents the priority moves from happening, and powerful expanding forces. The other option is to go with the Annihilate and use Water Shuriken with the loaded dice to hit 4 to 5 times on your own Annihilate for a very powerful Rage Fist support. Now, I will give a warning if you are going to do the Greninja into Armorage with the Water Shuriken for the extra weak armor boost. In some multi-hit moves, it does work like Surging Strikes. The Water Shuriken does not activate weak armor more than once in a single time span. So if you do go for Water Shuriken, you'll only be getting a +2 speed on Armorage instead of like a potential +6 with the loaded dice. So do keep that in mind when you do utilize this team. Otherwise, you have Tornadus to help support with, of course, the Tailwind, because there are a lot of Tailwind teams, and weak armor Armorage sometimes isn't enough to outspeed the entire format because of opposing Tailwind. And then Basket Legion that can take advantage of the Rain Dance that this Tornadus carries to help out against Sun and provide the Swift Swim support. If you would like to check out the details of the team or the creator, the links will be in the description down below. Arcanine, Gastrodon, Cresselia, Grimmsnarl, Roaring Moon, and Iron Hands. Okay, we've actually used this team on the channel. It's a Assault Vest, Hisuian, Arcanine, Gastrodon. Actually kind of weird for me because it does absorb my water moves, which is actually really important, because I was thinking of trying to do Annihilate in this matchup because I like it for screens, because it's really hard for them to actually break through the Annihilate. This makes it really difficult. They have Dragon Dance, Roaring Moon. The Roaring Moon is actually going to be quite difficult on this team. I want to do Greninja plus the Annihilate and hope they don't go with the Gastrodon. I don't think it's like terrible of a game plan. I think it's okay. I'm going to bring Entity in the back, and I think I want to go Armorage and see how it performs, because I want the Energy Ball coverage for Gastrodon. I want the Entity so I can heal pulse potentially my Annihilate, which is really good here. It's just a Roaring Moon. I don't have a good answer to like Roaring Moon. It's not a common Pokemon we see, but its typing is really good here, and its damage output can go absolutely crazy. Although, what was this Roaring Moon moveset? I think it was a dark move in acrobatics. Yeah, I think it's dark move in acrobatics. We are going to see the Annihilate Greninja lead here against Iron Hands and the Roaring Moon. So on the plus side, the Iron Hands doesn't have Fake Out on this team. It's Terra Water Swords Dance. I am very willing to risk a lot of factors and just go for a Water Shuriken or Rage Fist into the Roaring Moon, and I think I am going to lock it in. I could U-turn here, but if they get a Dragon Dance up, I think I lose the game anyway. So I think I'm going to go for the Rage Fist and hope they Terra Flying, because my Roaring Moon answers are not solid. I think they did it too. I think they did it. Okay, this ends up working out perfectly. Don't change the team. Please tell me this is a rental code. Don't reveal Fake Out Iron Hands. They protect. Oh my goodness, the gamble paid off. We're getting this Rage Fist into the Roaring Moon with the Rage Fist. Gonna come out into you. Goodbye. Oh. The gamble paid off so big. I'm really surprised they protected the Iron Hands. I could have Terra to be safe, but I feel like this Annihilate, since it's not bulky, would just go down to acrobatics anyway. Cresselia comes out. I don't see a reason why I don't just Rage Fist and go out into Entity here. Yeah, I'm just gonna Rage Fist into... Actually, could I just pick up the Knockout into the Iron Hands? I might be able to. Helping Hand Rage Fist would go crazy here, which I think is probably the play here. All right. Greninja Annihilate. the new combo they did not expect. Muck, Scovillain, the Grimmsnarl, Flamigo, Espeon, and Sylveon. I actually know this team. This is a Psych Up Minimize with the power of Alchemy getting the Moody. So it's an interesting team. Do I have a way to break through this efficiently? I don't think so. I mean, I do have Raynet's Torn, which can help out a little bit, but it's going to be like pretty difficult. I have Haze on actually. This is Haze Greninja's game. Haze Greninja actually ruins this entire team. Haze Greninja's actually really good against this team. Okay. I'm going to go with then my Annihilate. I think Annihilate's really good damage wise. It's knockoff Drain Punch on the Muck. So how do I want to approach that? I want to pressure the Grim really quickly. So I think I kind of want to go Annihilate plus the Basket Legion. And then they can't fake out. They're probably just going to set up their strategy of just getting screens up. And if that's the case, Final Gambit with Annihilate's actually like super threatening to this team. I have Greninja in the back for the Haze. And then I think I'm bringing the Armouge for offensive pressure. Let's see how this is going to perform. Their entire team relies on setting up Minimize and the Psych Up strategies. So as long as I get my Haze in with Greninja, I'll be in a really good spot. Let's see what they are going to lead here. It's going to be the lead of the Muck and Scovillain. Okay. So this is a classic. I do lead the Annihilate plus the Basket Legion. It's... The Scovillain, I think, doesn't have a grass move. I think it's Overheat, Rage Powder. I think it's Grassy Terrain, Protect. I don't really care about the Muck too much. I'm just going to U-turn out the Scovillain and just go for a Wave Crash into Scovillain as well. So they're going to Rage Powder, which is actually perfect. Okay, super ideal. I am going to be able to get a U-turn off into... Oh, it's Bright Powder. Missing that kind of stinks. Actually, no, it's okay because Wave Crash shouldn't KO, right? Yeah, U-turn should still... They do get a Minimize here, but that's all right. Yeah, they are going to start minimizing. Okay. The problem is eventually I'll have to get rid of this Muck. Okay, I don't know if they're going to protect or not, but this is fine. I'm going to U-turn out this Scovillain. I'm going to go hard into Armouge and the chance they knock off because they activate my weak armor and then I get a policy boost, and that's not bad against a Muck, assuming I'm able to hit. They also might just minimize, which is fine too. And I could U-turn out into Greninja, for instance, and go for Haze and different setups. We're going to see the Protect here, which is not so super surprising. We will see a U-turn go try to get into the Scovillain. Let's see if the Muck goes for knockoff or minimize again. Minimize again. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay. I don't really care about the boost too much. I do have Haze, as I mentioned before. I just got to watch out for like if the Muck gets a bit too out of hand, because I do need the way to pressure it. And I do have a few ways with it, with Final Gambit on the Annihilate, since they haven't taken damage. Please just hit this U-turn. Please just hit this U-turn. I'm going to protect Armouge because I don't want to take the knockoff in this slot. I'm going to U-turn. Rage Powder again. Okay. Okay, U-turn does hit. Doesn't KO. Actually, I'm surprised it didn't KO, but that works out fine. Going into my Greninja here. And I guess I can just click Haze and Heat Wave this turn. Does it minimize again, or are they going for a knockoff this time? They go for the third minimize. Okay, now they're going to start going for the knockoff. With this Haze, I'm going to get rid of their boost, which is really crucial. And then Heat Wave will be able to hit, hopefully. We'll give them the power of Alchemy, but we get rid of all the minimize boosts that they've been working so hard for. Let's go for the Heat Wave. And then they'll activate my policy, and then I'll get weak armor, and then I'll plus 2 Armouge on deck to hopefully start breaking through this team. I wonder the Muck will go for Terra Fire. If it does, that's really good for my Basket Legion, so that's okay. They go for a Rage Powder. It's super acceptable. It's actually like pretty nice if I miss the Scovillain here. If I do miss the Heat Wave, it's actually really good because I don't give them the power of Alchemy just yet. And it looks like I did miss a Heat Wave. I missed Scovillain. Perfect. Okay, that's not bad here. I went for Drain Punch. Ooh, all right. Also, I did like no damage to that Muck. Jeez, that Muck I did no damage to. All right. I do get the weak armor boost, but I didn't get a policy boost. Unfortunate for me. I could Shadow Sneak if I want to, but I don't think that's worth it. Special defense boost and a defense fall. So I could Shadow Sneak here, which is a little bit risky, I suppose, but it's like not too bad risk-wise. Their Pokemon just do no damage if they don't get this Psych Up off, which is pretty big. I think we go for a Shadow Sneak into... Did we Shadow Sneak? I don't have Intim. I guess I could Haze again. Haze isn't too bad here. You know what? Yeah, I'm actually going to Haze again. I'm going to Haze again, get rid of the defense drop, because I think I could still live the knockoff from Muck, and then Heat Wave. And then we'll still have the weak armor boost. We're going to see the Rage Powder, which is fine. We go for the Heat Wave. We actually do land, which is really nice. So get more damage on the Muck. We're going to Haze away our defense drop, and hopefully we'll live the knockoff afterward. If they want to go for minimize again, that's fine. They didn't do any damage to Armarouge, and this Greninja still being a very big problem. I want to save Terra for probably Greninja, just so I can keep hazing pretty safely. They go for the knockoff into Armarouge. I am able to survive as I thought, barely, because of that haze from earlier, and then we get the weak armor setup. So that is really, really good here. Okay, they don't have any priority other than Fake Out on their Grimmsnarl, so I do have to watch out for that, but okay. I do need the Greninja around for sure, though, because the Greninja is going to be really crucial. Special defense increase. Don't love to see that. Speed drop doesn't really change anything for me. Okay. Grimmsnarl going to come out here. Okay, perfect. I'm going to go out into my Annihilate, and I'm going to protect the Armarouge. This is Fake Out, Parting Shot, Screens, Grimmsnarl. So I should be able to just ignore the Grimmsnarl very safely, because like they can't do any damage to my Annihilate, and then I just Final Gambit the Muck, and I'm in a really set position, I think, afterward. Because the Muck switches out and then it no longer has Power Alchemy, and then I just straight up win. Or they stay in and the Muck goes down, and like I'm in a phenomenal spot. So regardless, like it's okay. We will go for the Protect here. Gonna be the Fake Out, gonna come out into what was the Armarouge. Is this Drain Punch into the Greninja? Is this Minimize? This Drain Punch into the Greninja. Excellent, excellent, excellent. So the Muck should be in Final Gambit range. I want to say we're not max HP Annihilate, which is a shame because we could just automatically KO. Special Attack Rise, Defense Decrease. So do I have to? I could go for Close Combat potentially, but I don't know if that knocks out. I think I'd rather just go for the Final Gambit and ensure my KO. And I'm just going to go for the Heat Wave. They go for Protect, which is fine. What are they going to do with the Grims? I've never had that happen in a recording session, but apparently I didn't have enough space in my computer to keep recording that turn. But I cleared some files real quick, and yeah, you didn't miss much. The Muck protecting the Grim one for light screen. Now I just get a Final Gambit and the Heat Wave off, and yeah, they're still in a really bad spot regardless. So technical difficulties. They really got a double protect, really? Okay. As they go for Parting Shot. Whatever's coming is taking a Heat Wave though, and they don't exactly appreciate that, so that's acceptable, I suppose. All right, what are they going out into? Somebody's taking a +1 Heat Wave, although there is light screen up, so I do have to be concerned about that. It is going to be the Flamigo. Okay, did it get any relevant changes where it goes crazy? I'd have to double check. Heat Wave gonna come out. Oh, that did no damage to that Flamigo. The Final Gambit into the Muck. Do I have to KO the Muck with the Annihilate? I don't have to, I guess. Let me double check. What's the Flamigo at? Defense increase and attack fall. You guess speed rise? Okay, it's speed dropped actually. Okay. Flamigo doesn't have protect. I'm just concerned because the play that I could see them get out of here. Well, Flamigo's not a threat. Flamigo is really not a threat. I have a few options. I really want to go for a Final Gambit into Flamigo. The thing is, they can I want to, you know what? I'm going to Final Gambit to Flamingo. The only way I see this really backfiring is if they go Grim for the Flamingo slot. But they retreat the Muck instead, which is perfect. So got the call right. I wasn't sure which one. I mean, regardless, like, I think it would have been okay because I still could haze with the Greninja. And that was going to be really crucial. I thought like they could definitely sack one of these Pokemon, bring in Grimmsnarl on the Final Gambit, but I get the right call. Like, even if I got this call wrong, and I Final Gambit the Grimmsnarl, I can still haze the Flamingo's boost away. And then I think Basculation could still win this end game, but it would be a little bit tricky. However, it looks like we're not going to have to rely on that too much. We're going to bring out our Greninja plus our Basculation, and now I guess we could still have a little bit of trouble because I don't exactly have the best offensive pressure with the Muck healthy with screens, because I was hoping that I could have gotten the Final Gambit off earlier, yet I guess it's not terrible. I guess I'm just going to helping hand the Basculation. We're going to go for a... I wish I could Psychic Fangs their slot. But yeah, we're going to go for the Terra Grass, actually, into the Muck. And the reason is I don't think they're going to fake out the Basculation. They are probably going to either fake out Grimmsnarl, or I don't remember they even got Reflect Up previously. But yeah, I am going to helping hand Wave Crash here the Muck and try to get as much damage as I possibly can, because if I get rid of Muck, I'm in a really good position because the Grimmsnarl actually can't do damage. So as long as I get rid of the Muck, I'm in a really good spot. Let's see though. This could be parting Protect, I guess. No, they did fake out the Greninja. Excellent. So I am able to get the Wave Crash off into the Muck, and I'm in a really good spot right now. And I just KO'd a Muck. Okay. Basculation. Really good. Really good end game cleanup. Cool. Cool. Now I can just Water Shuriken for days onto this Grimmsnarl, and yeah, not much that they can do. So luckily we had basically the perfect bond that could really help us here. We had Haze on the Greninja that actually really was very valuable here into this minimize psych up team. Could have gotten a little bit dicey because of those double protects, but we did get at least the right Final Gambit target. I wasn't sure which one, but I was like pretty confident that if anything was switching with the Muck was there, and it looks like I was correct, thankfully. Enamorous, Cresselia, Hisuian Arcanine, Regieleki, Ursaluna, and Amoonguss. This is a really interesting team. The Enamorous is just kind of strange because there's no... Oh, no, they actually do have Eerie Impulse set up on the Eleki. Okay. So they do actually have a way to set up the Enamorous. I think then I'm just going to do Entity Armor, which is pretty safe for the most part. I don't like Torn in this matchup. I'm thinking like the Greninja is pretty decent in the back alongside the Annihilate. I could see myself going with Basculation too. Basculation isn't a terrible option either. It puts on a lot of pressure. The problem with my Basculation that I noticed is that I'm not going to be able to do extremely well into this team without Rain Dance, and I don't really feel like Torn's a good bring here at all. It only really helps out with Tailwind support in case the Eleki... Because the thing is, the Eleki is going to outspeed my Armorage after like an Electro, but otherwise, like, they got to be careful about going for Electro because A, the Eleki is going to go down Expanding Force in that case, and B, I have the Annihilate that can set up. So I think my only difficulty with this team is that Ursaluna is going to be a pretty hard Pokemon to break through, as Trick Room is going to be pretty tough to maneuver. I don't have the best damage I put against Trick Room, so I need some heavy damage. We're going to see Eleki Arcanine. Okay. Versus my Entity and Armorage. So Intimidate goes off first. We get the Psychic Terrain. I would like to break a Sash on the Eleki if it's possible, as that would be really helpful. I don't know what kind of Arcanine this is. This might be just a combination of Electroweb plus the Rock Slide immediately. I think I'm just going to go for Protect here with Armorage and Psychic the Eleki to break a potential Focus Sash, as I mentioned before. This is actually kind of a really good lead for them on their part. I kind of wish I did lead maybe Annihilate, but Annihilate would have been really nice. But let's see if they're going to just try to break through the Entity, whether they're going to go for like Thunderbolt Rock Slide, which maybe a KOs depending on the Arcanine item. I'm kind of curious because I feel like if they led Arcanine, this might be a more offensive one, but we'll see. I go for the Protect here. We're going to see a Thunderbolt come out into the Entity, which makes sense. Paralysis. Oh no. having to deal with Paraflinch is not ideal. Head smash. Okay. Okay, head smash. I do get the psychic off, which is really good. Okay. Huge damage to LAIC. Unfortunately, we're gonna have to take a risk and hope that I break through the... We're just gonna have to hope that we break through this paralysis right here, because we need the Electroweb, or we need to follow me. Okay, they go for protect here, which is interesting with the LAIC. Please. Okay, I am okay with that. This actually works out way better than I anticipated, because I get expanding force damage to Arcanine. They go for the head smash. Wait, weren't they intimidate too? Were they Rockhead or were they intimidate? Because I thought I saw intimidate. Yeah, they are. Wow. Okay. So I'm able to get expanding force off into the Arcanine, get some pretty good chip damage. Interesting. Head smash Arcanine, and that's a good amount of damage. Let's get in our Greninja here, and this Greninja's Ray is set up with a Shadow Sneak here into the Armarouge, and we will go for the expanding force as they do not have good switch-ins. And let's go for that Shadow Sneak also into Armarouge. And then we'll be able to get this weakness policy set up. We're able to get the weak armor. We outspeed the LAIC because we are timid Armarouge. And yeah, they do not have a switch in for +2 expanding force. And if they do switch in, up is the Cresselia. So hopefully I can knock it out with a helping hand heat wave the following turn. So that would be a-okay for me. And I guess the only concern is if it's Cresselia or Ursaluna in the bag. That's my only real big concern, because the damage output that they can have is not ideal per se. Shadow Sneak gonna come out for my Greninja into the Armarouge, get that weak armor and get the expanding force pressure off, and then let's see what's gonna remain here, because I do not know. I'm hoping helping hand. I don't think helping hand Terra Grass Energy Ball with Terra would knock out Cresselia. Cresselia is just too bulky of a Pokemon. Get rid of both the leads here, which is great. So I get rid of LAIC and I get rid of the Arcanine. Fantastic. I'm really surprised it's not Rock Slide and just raw head smash, especially with no Rock Heads. So ends up working out. Greninja. Let's see. Can you support the rest here? Is it Cresselia or Ursaluna in the back? Oh no, it's Enamorus. Okay, so the threats have become a lot easier to deal with. Oh my goodness. They did not bring Cresselia or Ursaluna. I am shocked actually that they didn't lead any of the. They didn't bring any of those, but we'll take it. We're gonna expanding force and we're gonna go for a helping hand, I suppose. Yeah, I don't see a reason not to go for the helping hand here. I guess I could scout for a Terra. I should probably scout for a Terra, right? I mean, I don't think it's Terra Dark Amoonguss, but I feel like there's an okay chance it might be. Let's just go for expanding force and helping hand. You know what? Yeah, let's just go for helping hand and expanding force. Let's see. Are they Terra Dark? They have to be Terra Dark. Or maybe they just survived the expanding force because they're like Terra Water. Okay, they are Terra Water. So I'm kind of curious if helping hand expanding force inside terrain with the policy boost is enough to knock out the Amoonguss, because I feel like it should be, but we'll find out. Because the Namus is probably protecting. They're going for a last ditch spore effort into the Armarouge. We are going to see the protect from the Enamorus, which is perfect. So I am going to be able to get the expanding force set up into the Amoonguss. Let's see. +2 psychic terrain helping hand boosted. I'd imagine it's Chaos Amoonguss. Yeah. All right. So we do have enough firepower to KO the Amoonguss. I didn't think they would run Terra Dark. Like, defensively, water is just so good to pass up right now. And the only thing, of course, with Terra Dark is you can avoid like Thundurus plus Tornadus, but I don't think I've seen it really much at all. It's just something I've been thinking about recently. So yeah, let's just go for an expanding force into you, and let's also go for a water shuriken, I guess, and get some damage off into the Enamorus in case it's like random focus sash, which I highly doubt, but you know, just cover the option if it is ever able to pick up the win, which is really nice. Into the setup, allowed my armor to get some chip damage, then was able to bring in the big Greninja and go for the water shuriken or Shadow Sneak setup, I guess, in this case. And yeah, able to just clean up the lead, and then they were just in a really tough spot for the end game. Surprised though Cresselia or Ursaluna, but it worked out really well for us. Typhlosion, Lilligant, Ursaluna, Torkoal, Fluttermane, Thundurus. This is the Hisuian Typhlosion team with the Assault Vest Ursaluna that we've used on the channel before, actually. So this matchup actually seems really difficult because I don't know how I'm breaking through the Ursaluna effectively. Ursaluna is actually a really tough Pokemon for me to break through, and then they have the Typhlosion as well. It's Scary Face Thunder, so I don't have to worry about Thunder Wave if I'm not mistaken. I think it's special attack boosting Pixie Plate on the Fluttermane. There were like two different Sun teams I remember using. I do have Rain Dance Torn though, which is actually pretty difficult for them. So that is something they have to keep in mind. I might do something. Well, I am max speed actually Annihilate, but I don't remember if I still outspeed Typhlosion because it was Moss Typhlosion. I'm Jolly Annihilate. I don't remember the Jolly is enough to outspeed a modest Typhlosion, which is going to be pretty crucial here. They also have to be scared of Armouge as a cover here. I think I want to do the Annihilate plus Greninja anyway, and then in the back, I think Armouge and the Thundurus should be good enough. I think it should be. There was also a possibility that I ended up deciding to bring the Indy over the Armouge just for Heal Pulse pressure. I think Heal Pulse would have been really nice because the support on Annihilate is pretty crucial with the mode I'm going for. Yet I don't know if I'm using. I don't know because I feel like I have a game plan where I can set up for Armouge endgame anyway, so I won't need to fully commit on Annihilate. But we'll see. Lilligant plus Thundurus. Okay. Against the Greninja plus Annihilate. Let's have some fun. I'm gonna go for a Water Shuriken into my Annihilate, and I'm just gonna go for a Rage Fist, and I'm gonna target down the Thundurus. I would like to get rid of the Thundurus as quickly as possible because Wild Bolt Storm is not easy for my team to switch into at all. They could go for Sunny Day Sleep Powder, Sunny Day Solar Blade, which I'm hoping Annihilate can survive one, but we'll see. Water Shuriken gonna come out. And we're going to power up our Annihilate so we can actually threaten the Thundurus. Getting rid of Thundurus would be really, really nice here. So let's see. Okay. Sunny Day is going to come out as a Sleep Powder Solar Blade. They did waste a turn having to set up the Sleep Powder. They did go for Sleep Powder. Okay. Unfortunately, this angle is just going to be, can we wake up early enough? And that is going to be a big question. So I really am hoping for a decent early wake here. I'm going to Shadow Sneak to break the sash on the Lilligant. I'm going to go for the Rage Fist into the Thundurus. Let's see. Annihilate. Can he pull through? This also could be Solar Blade again, and this could just like ruin my day, but we'll see. Here comes a Shadow Sneak into the Lilligant to break a sash. We're going to see the Leaf Blade. Oh, right. Solar Blade was a different one, so I am able to survive. I don't think I would have lived to the Leaf Blade, actually, looking back at it, but I am able to get a Rage Fist set up into the Thundurus, which is absolutely huge. I am able to pick up the knockout Thundurus. That Pokemon was really important to get rid of because now it allows my Torn to actually put in a lot of work against this team. I wonder if it's Ursaluna plus the oh, it's Fluttermane in the back. Okay. Not expecting Fluttermane coming in. All right. Boost energy, special attack. Yep. So this is kind of an interesting spot. I have no idea who they're really going to target here. If they have Shadow Ball, if they're going to go for Shadow Ball, if they're going to go for Dazzling Gleam. I kind of like the idea of I could Shadow Sneak my Armouge here, which I am thinking about. I think I'm going to Shadow Sneak my Annihilate and go out into Armouge. Because I want so my plan here is to get the Weak Armor activated with the Weakness Policy. I don't think they could Shadow Ball. That's the only issue. I have no idea if they actually click Shadow Ball here, but I think I have to make kind of a read point and kind of commit something. This could be Leaf Blade plus Dazzling Gleam coming out, but I have no idea which slots they target. But I could also see After You. Did this team have After You, or was that the other one? I think it was the other one, actually. I don't think this team had After You. I think it had Protect on a Logan. So I mixed up the teams, but they did go for a Leaf Blade into the Greninja to pick up the knockout. Did you go for Shadow Ball or did you go for Gleam? I kind of had to hope you went for Gleam in this situation. Nice. Okay, that's really good. That's really good, actually. Because I am going to be able to go out and Torn. I don't have to click Rain Dance anymore. I can go for Tailwind with my Tornadus. And Tailwind Heat Wave is really, really good here, I think, into the remainder. I think Heat Wave at +2 in the sun can KO Flutter Mane. Don't quote me on that. This game is still nowhere near over. I have no idea. The Flutter Mane, it should be Pixie Plate. I had a feeling they were clicking Gleam. I wasn't sure where the Leaf Blade target is. They know I was Scarf. No, they never found out I was Scarf and Nihilip, so they might have not suspected, because that play actually, they didn't cover for Rage Fist and the Flutter Mane, because Nihilip would have outsped the Flutter Mane and went for the Rage Fist, but thankfully gonna be able to go for a Heat Wave here into their slots and go for a Tailwind. We're gonna see a Terra come out here actually from my opponent. Is this Lilligant? No, it's a Flutter Mane. So they're going for the Terra Fairy. Does Terra Fairy Dazzling Gleam KO this Tornadus? I don't think so. I'm max HP, so I feel like with the bulk and Pixie Plate, I don't think. Maybe, we'll see. I do get the Tailwind up, which allows my Weak Armor Armor, which got the boost from the Shell Sneak earlier, to outspeed. Heat Wave does connect with both, thankfully. And goodbye, Flutter Mane. Goodbye, Flutter Mane. Thank goodness. Thank goodness. Oh my goodness. Able to get rid of Flutter Mane, we get rid of Lilligant, and now the Ursaluna is in a really rough spot, and that's really good for me. So Ursaluna is the last one. That's really good. Oh man. Okay. I don't think we had like an easy 100% win con against this team. This team was definitely tough. I think I had to definitely had some moments here. I'm gonna Bleak Wind Storm actually, and I'm gonna just protect my Armor because I want to scout for a Terra on their Ursaluna. Not because if they Terra it, I was gonna Expanding Force, but if they don't Terra, I think I just risk Energy Ball and I'm fine. Bleak Wind Storm and get some chip damage into Ursaluna. A Rock Slide, which is acceptable here. I wonder if Annihilape could survive the Rock Slide for the extra Rage Fist, I suppose, but I don't think it's necessary. The Sunlight Phase. I didn't Terra yet, so I guess I just Terra with Armor and get a stronger hit off. So I am going to go for a Breakwind Storm into Ursaluna, and I will go for the Terra. I'm going to go for the Energy Ball into the Ursaluna here, and hopefully be able to finish off the Ursaluna this way, which should be safe, I want to say, but it's definitely... could be, I don't know. It's Assault Vest Ursaluna. Ursaluna doesn't have the best special defense, but it has like a massive amount of HP. Did they Terra too? Nope, no Terra. Okay, so I think this Energy Ball is just going to seal up, so I don't have to worry about Annihilape switch. So made a really risky switch with the Armouch, because if it was a Shadow Ball in that slot, or if they Leaf Bladed the Armouch, could have been deadly. Unfortunately, like I think the team on the Lilligant, because I mixed up the Lilligants because there were two Sun teams I used. One of them had Protect Leaf Blade, which I think was this one, and the other one was Solar Blade After You, which was on the Charizard team. And I think I mixed them up, so I think it was that Lilligant had Leaf Blade, Close Combat, Sleep Powder, Protect, if I'm not mistaken, so it had no After You. I thought like their safe play was After You Dazzling Gleam, which is what I was trying to hopefully like get their mess up there. But I guess it didn't end up working out because I did need to Shadow Sneak so I could outspeed the Lilligant with the Tailwind, which was actually a really important factor. And I needed Sun Up so I can actually knock out the Flutter Mane. So thankfully it worked out, but a clutch up. All right, let's go over to games. Game one, I made a commitment turn one and caught the knockout onto the Roaring Moon. My opponent did not expect with the Choice Scarf Annihilape. In game two, his Greninja was very valuable in preventing this specific setup, although Muck was still scaring the endgame with the double protect, but thankfully Basket Legion still was able to get the knockout. In game 3, was able to execute a great start with weakening their lead, and Armouch was able to set up with Greninja to dominate. Game 4, needed an early wake up with Annihilape, and switching into Flutter Mane was scary, but took a gamble with the Armouch switching and it paid off. The verdict, Greninja is one of those cool Pokemon. It's one of my personal favorites. I really thought it was really sick of an idea, and I do love the anime Vash Greninja, but competitively, it was fun. It did enable a lot of setup. I was actually very impressed with how the team performed. And when I did try out this team earlier, I did try it for fun, and I could not win a single game with this team when I first tried it out. But it is definitely a really hard setup because you do need the Psychic Terrain with NDD most of the time, and then you have to get Greninja out. You can't really lead Greninja when you do Armouch unless you're going for Heat Waves because you want to go for Expanding Force. But you're leaving the Armouch vulnerable. There's Sashi Impulse, so it's a little bit hard to set up. There's also other leads you can do with this team, of course, with the Annihilate U-turn with Armouch, but I found it to be a little susceptible to Tailwind and a lot of other factors, so I do think that it's a really hard team to actually use because it requires so much, but it was a lot of fun. If you do want to try out, there is a rental code on your screen. You can check out the details of the team and the creator down below description. And of course, subscribe to the channel for more VGC content as always.